Well, gentlemen, I think we've kind of done what we came here to do. I appreciate you coming, spending an hour with us. So close to Christmas.
Adam, would you actually be willing to answer a couple of other questions?
Sure.
When they tear the streets up and find our 70-year-old messed up sewers need repaired, going to go ahead and do those at the same time?
We will look at it on a case-by-case basis. It won't just be sewers. We'll be looking at storm sewers, sanitary sewers, the water lines, the gas lines. All of that will be looked at on a case-by-case basis.
And that would going to be under general obligation bond then, right?
No.
And all of that,
those will be paid for by the utilities.
Oh, okay.
okay. Those will be paid 100% by the utility?
You have never paid a taxpayer dollar in this city that was spent on utility services.
Okay.
We have never done so. I've gone back 10 years and I can't find an example. And it's traditionally, I will tell you that the state frowns upon that.
About fixing utilities while you're fixing streets?
No issue there.
Oh, okay. The other question I have is, you had mentioned that a property owner could qualify for a hardship waiver, let's call it. You didn't express it exactly that way. How would, what's the process for a property owner to get that?
I'll look through the paperwork here and see if I printed that out. As you can guess, there's books upon books of state laws on this stuff. I don't remember if I printed it out or not.
You don't even have a ballpark someone could automatically qualify if their house is only worth X?
It had nothing to do with the value of the home. It had to do with the, it seemed to have everything to do with the poverty line assessment for a household, those type of things.
Is the lie that, well, okay. Is the number that Horizons threw out a couple years ago still true? Is we 50% poverty in this town?
I could not answer that question. We have to do an LMI survey, but I guess I should point to that, Curtis, when we do those LMI surveys, that's low to moderate income. It includes the moderate income included with the low income when we do those. I don't know what Horizon's number was. I know when we do an LMI survey so that we can apply for CDBG funds, usually that LMI survey comes in the mid-50s. So that includes moderate as well.
Okay.
Anything back on the census then yet?
No, they have reported at state levels and they have reported at the national level, but they have not reported base findings for the cities yet.
And their website crashes every 3 hours.
I was on it. I did manage to make it on it, and got all the way to the city stuff, and it says city stuff will not be available for the next 30 days or somewhere in that neighborhood. There's a whole challenge process.
There's 300 million people trying to get on that website.
Well, and school districts, cities, states, there will be challenges. Every 10 years there is a mountain of challenges to these. Usually the states don't get a chance to change theirs. However, there is usually, and you can actually look on the census pages, they will give you a list of every number that they changed in a particular year based upon a challenge. I don't know how much faith I put in the projections, the annual projections they do, because I really question where they get their data that they do those projections they do on an annual basis. You know, they did the census in 2000 and said we had 2368, and then they say the 2009 projection is 2083, I think is what it says. And I'm not going to say whether I think that's a good number or a bad number. I'm just simply saying that I question the whole projection process in and of itself, how you would go about it.
Right, they don't tell you their science.
Correct.
They specifically don't tell you.
Correct.
They will not release that information.
Correct.
Right.
And so that
goes the dartboard in the back room.
Well, the nice thing is nobody bases anything on that. It's only the census number, and where it will affect us is it will affect us from the perspective of road use tax money. That'll be the most, that and granting will be our two biggest impacts, because depending on how much your population is, determines what grants you can apply for, and then how much you can apply for. And then the second biggest impact to us is the road use tax, because the way they do road use tax at the state is it's $92 per the latest census number of population. So if we go down 200 people, we lose $90 times 200 people. What's that, $18,000 off the top of my head? That sound right? Yeah. So we could stand, if that projection is accurate, we could stand to lose $18,000 a year in road use tax.
That's another question that Anonymous has. Anonymous wants to know if what that money is being used for. How come that money is not being used to fix the roads?
Road use tax money?
Sure.
We receive right now about $200,000 in road use tax money.
Per year?
Per year. Our operating budget for Bob's street projects alone comes in the neighborhood of $350,000 to $400,000. So in essence, the road use tax money we receive pays 50 to 60% of our road activities that we currently do, whether it be snow removal, whether it be buying salt, whether it be overtime hours, whether it be repairing the equipment, anything of that nature, the patchwork that we do. It's paid for through a combination of the street fund is, of course, funded through the general obligation, and the road use tax fund is funded through, the road use budget is funded through the road use tax. But in essence, those two together make up our street budget.
Sure.
Right now, I think we have $30,000 sitting in our road use tax fund. Now, granted, I'm talking year-over-year rollover. That's not what we've got sitting in there today. Year-over-year rollover, it's $30,000, and to be all honest, once you count the iJobs money out of that, that's actually more in the neighborhood of about $5,000.
iJobs.
Yeah, the current governor decided that he would hand out some of the ARPA money that the state used to the county and to the cities through a program called iJobs to create jobs in the state of Iowa. And so that the entities could spend this money on streets and projects that are related to streets, and that this would create new jobs, new spending, and all of that nature. And so the city of Sac City received a big whopping $20,000 from them for that. That's our entire payout to create new jobs, is that $20,000.